In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys having the power of Hall of Fame special delivery. Now, shout out to Six for helping me out with this video, man. We hopped on. If you guys don't believe me, this was actually our first game together. And if you guys are probably wondering, Fear, what about your point guard? Listen, I've tried to play with my point guard for a minute and try to get gameplays like this. It's just not possible. It's just not in his play style. I think Six is more of a pass first point guard, so he made this gameplay a little bit easier. As you guys can see, the other team we're playing was definitely not an easy game, bro. Like I literally said to myself, bro, every time I'm trying to get some clips, I don't know why I'm always getting tough teams. And you guys can see the small 49 team ended up leaving. I'm like, bro, I just came here to get some clips. Every time I'm streaming, I never get these kind of teams. I'm getting 60s, but every time I want to get some clips, these guys are always there. But it doesn't matter anyway, because Six is just throwing me some loves. Now, if you guys don't know, Six's build does have a 99 pass on his build, so that doesn't really matter though, because my build is still going crazy. But that, of course, that definitely helps. One of the biggest thing that Six's build has that helps me a lot on this build is actually his takeover. He's got the badge boost takeover, and honestly, I could feel that the whole time, because every time he had his takeover, I felt like I had my slashing take the entire time. As you guys can see, we're just going crazy with the contest. This build is an absolute demon, but of course, playing with a passive guard that's willing to play with you would make this build go crazy. I remember saying to you guys as well on one time when I was on my 6'9", I did say if I get a chance to play with someone with my 6'11 build, I promise you guys they're gonna drop 50. And you guys have seen exactly what would happen, because again, Six is basically a pass first guard just like me, and my build is one of the most scariest dominant off-ball build in the game. You guys will see later on, after a while I'm dunking on these guys the entire game, what they're gonna start to do, they're gonna start just sitting in the paint, bro, because they can't stop it. As you guys can see, every time I'm in that paint, it is just too much. This build is so fun. It is it's so fast for a 6'11", but I have an 80 speed for a 6'11". As you guys can see, I am just going crazy in the paint. We're just going crazy right now. And shout out to Six, man. Like I said, Six is a pass first player, and you guys can see in his play style, he's just feeding me, letting me have a good time, pause, not in that way, but y'all know what I mean. But look at this, I'm just going crazy this entire game. I'm not even gonna say anything about my original PG, but long story short, let's just say PG's Six's play style fits my my vision of what I want with someone on this build. You definitely need someone that's gonna be willing to pass the ball. As you guys can see, we are just going crazy with this build, man. And you guys will see later on in the video. After a while, what's gonna start to happen is, bearing in mind, as guys can see, I'm just dunking on these guys. Bearing in mind, I am just making a video, right? If we're playing seriously, these guys ended up starting to leave guys wide open. They were leaving my center wide open because they were all trying to sit in the paint, trying to get a contest on alley-oop animations, because it is crazy, bro. But as you guys can see, I'm just dunking the entire game, bro. This build, this is the reason why I call it the Giannis build, because anytime I get a lane into that paint, it's a wrap, bro. It is a wrap. As you guys can see right now, look, they're starting to kind of sit in the paint, but they're still not getting it. We're still going crazy. The special delivery badge definitely was helping me out. It's halftime already. As you guys can see, at halftime, I dropped 36 points. Now, of course, their PG was going crazy as well this game. I didn't show his highlights, but he was going crazy. He was getting some contact dunks and everything else. I don't know how. But Six already has 17 assists, bruh. 17 assists. I'm telling you, for this build to be at its best, first of all, shout out to Lilo for helping me out. Lilo is my center, if you guys don't know. I needed a center to be able to space the floor so I can run the pick and roll. As you guys can see, I paid Six's back the favor for the whole time he's been loving me. You know what I'm saying? But once again, of course, again, I'm not just a dunker on this build. I can pass the ball as well if I want to. And I was passing just so I can relieve some pressure, because they knew I was gonna shoot. They knew I was gonna dunk the entire time. As you guys can see, so I had to shoot the ball a couple of times to remind them that I can shoot on this build, even though that wasn't my intention coming into this game. I was just gonna get as many crazy contact dunks as possible, contact alley-oops, and you guys can see right here, as crazy as this, oh my god. Funny enough, this actually did not count. It did not count, but of course I had to put it in there because I absolutely sent that man to the shadow realm. It was crazy, bro. But once again, look at Six's play style, bro. It just kind of fits my style of play in terms of what I want in a point guard. But as you guys can see, they were starting to clog the paint now. They were starting to clog the paint. Bearing in mind, they were leaving my center wide open. You guys can see, even with his sharp takeover, they were leaving him wide open. So I don't know if they knew I was trying to make a video or something. I don't know what their plan was, but they were just leaving guys wide open. So realistically, if we're playing seriously, even though we're still blowing them out with an AI, this would have been an easy game for everyone. As you guys can see, I'm just dunking on everyone at this point, bro. But shout out to Six for helping me out. But because these guys, you guys can see, they were all starting to leave guys open. You see that the random in the corner wide open, they didn't, they were literally just clogging. Look at them. everyone started to clog the paint because this build is way too dominant. That's what I'm trying to say. If you play with the right PG, this build is crazy, bro. Like, especially finishing in the paint. And again, I think the best build to play on, or the best player to play on with this build, is definitely a pass first point guard. If you don't play with a pass first point guard, you're not really going to enjoy this build as much as you should. As you guys can see, Six trying to go for a clip right there. He was trying to go crazy, but this was a fun game. I played 3 games with Six, 3 or 4 games with him, and I had scored 30 plus points in every single game. One game I dropped 46 as well, so I didn't clip those games because I just, I dropped 54 in this game. So this was definitely the most standout game that we played, which is our first game together. You guys wouldn't even know this was our first game together. I was about to go crazy right there. You guys can see these guys were just sitting in the paint now, bro. They were sitting in the paint. You see everyone, you see all of them coming to sit in the paint trying to stop the contest. I don't know what their issue is. They're trying to stop your boy from getting some clips. But anyways, that will be the end of that video, man. Like, we ended up dropping 54 points on the Giannis build. This build does go crazy, but once again, honestly, you do need the right type of player to play with, because I played multiple games. I played over 20-30 games with my point guard, and there was a reason why I asked Six to help me out instead. Because I've seen Six's playstyle. I've seen his build's got 99, and his playstyle, to be fair, this was my first time playing with Six, but his playstyle is very similar to the way I run point guard. And again, I know if I play with my 6'11" on my point guard, he's gonna drop 50 points, and that's exactly what happened in this game. I dropped 54 points, so you guys can tell I'm definitely not capping, bro. If I do play with this 6'11" build or my 6'9" build, they're definitely gonna drop 50 as well. But if you're playing with a guard that's more, scoring focused, they don't really want to pass the ball all the time, you're not really gonna enjoy how good this build can be. Because at the end of the day, if you look at my center, he dropped over 20 points as well. So it wasn't just like me scoring the entire points. The point was still split throughout everyone. But this build is just so dominant in the paint that to the point where everyone is going to start to double you. As you guys can see, Sixes end up dropping 26 assists, and my center, who was spacing the floor for me, he ended up dropping 23 points. So you guys can see, so it wasn't just me that was scoring. It wasn't a case of like you're just being selfish, they were just playing for you. But because this build is so dominant, and bearing in mind, I wasn't even trying to play comp with this build in this gameplay as well. I was literally just trying to go for the alley-oops, for the contact dunks and everything else. So if I was realistically trying to be serious about this build and I was staying out, trying to shoot some threes, these guys would absolutely not know what to do, because this build does have an 81 3 ball, right? I have an 81 3 on this build. I've got gold catch and shoot. So not only can I finish and dunk and everyone, I can also shoot the ball very well on this build. I do have Aerial Wizard and Hall of Fame. I do have a 93 driving dunk, and I do have gold posterize on this build. I went crazy this game, man. Now again, shout out to Six. Six also has a YouTube channel, so I'm definitely going to leave a link in the description. So if you want to check him out, he's got some crazy builds. Definitely check out his content. It's very good. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.